everyone, how are you doing today? It's me, Angela, back to share with you a little project in our fairy journal, which is really starting to come together so nicely. So yeah, look, I've got a whole pile of them, but I'm making 2 journals, so I thought I would get on with it and share with you what I've made, and we are going to make them together as well. All right, so it is only one project, but one in each of our signatures. All right, so this is what I've made. We've got a little pink version. We've got some detail here on the front, just 2 little fussy cuts with some flowers, a fairy image from the kit, and a little quote there with some butterflies, some of our lace. And you have a tag in the window over there with a butterfly on it, and then you open that up and we've got a little pocket with lace and a fussy cut, 2 pieces of ephemera like that slide in there, and then we've got a nice tag in the back. Really nice, a lot simpler than you think. All right, so yes, I'm working on your confidence today. So if you are new to this, come along with me and we will do this together, because I know you can and I know you want to, and it's a lot easier than it seems. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these. Is this the one? I'm going to stick it into my fairy journal. So this one is going to have the green one. All right, so it's just a couple of pages from the back, and I'm going to stick it on over there. So I will stick that whole area. You could do it on 3 sides and put another card on the side there if you wanted. You could, but I'm going to stick that down over there like that, and then you've got your pocket and everything like that. So it's nice and flat as well. Look at that, nice and flat. All right, so we've got our little green one with the bluebells, fussy cuts, the little image. This card is the Body, Mind and Soul card. Again, it's got the butterfly on the top there, which is peeking out. And then this one has got this little pocket with the lace and the fussy cut. I've put Believe in Yourself a little more every day, and the little fairy card there. And then we've got the larger card in the back. All right, so we're going to make one of them, the pink one. All right, so that's what we're doing. That's going to go in there, and the other one will go into the back, but there is a page for it somewhere. Okay, so there's the pink one. That's going to go on there. All right, guys, so I think I've caught one in here. There we go. So let me put those aside at the top there and our signatures and show you how I got on with this. Right, the first thing you want is a sheet of paper, and we're using the pink and the green version of this background sheet. What's stuck on the bottom here? It's a little flower. Oh gosh, that's odd. And what I've done here is I've just cut this to 10 inches across. All right, that's all it is. Okay, so 10 inches there. Don't worry about the width of your page. It's only a 1/4 of an inch difference, not going to make a difference. So just cut it to 10 inches in length. And then I want you just to meet up the corners. And it doesn't matter which side you do it, because we're going to do it on both sides. So that's there and there, lengthwise, and the other way, this way as well. Again, just meet up those corners. Okay, so you've folded that in both directions. Now what I want you to do is with the shorter side, so it's 8 1/4 or 8 1/2, all right, not this way, the longer side, the shorter side. I want you to get those 2 together. Just making sure I think Abby is going on to Teddy's treat territory. Right, so I got that there, and then just match it up the other direction. All right, so we'll get to the nitty-gritty of it in a minute, but I'm just folding it back there and making it nice and flat. Oops. All right, so there we go. Yeah, so that looks pretty all right. Yeah, pretty much. There might be a little bit there, but I can always trim that. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we've got it like this now. Now, what I did was I took a piece of, this is an Oreo box, not that I eat them, and I've just made a little shape here. This is 2 3/4 inches by 2.5. All right, what is that in centimeters? We are looking at just short of 7 centimeters by 6.2. There or thereabouts, guys. I've just used it because it's easy. I was making 4 of them and I just thought it's easier. All right, so you want to open this up, the top right hand corner here. Take your little piece, just gauging it. I want to sort of have it even on all 3 sides, more or less. All right, and probably easier if I do it in half for me to gauge it. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. All right, so I'm just going to take my pencil and draw around it. There we go. So we've drawn that there now. Okay, we can put that aside. And now I'm going to take my knife. You can use your scissors, but I am going to use this piece, so just be careful of that. All right, so I'm going to cut this out on those lines. Okay. So let's hope I get it right. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Right, so I've got that there, and I'm going to turn it over and just say that that's the top of where the pattern is. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Then I will just grab my Distress Oxide and my antique linen, which is working so well with these soft colours. I'm going to just get that into the frame there. There we go. All right. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to just take this pencil and draw where this frame is, the space that I've cut out, because I want to stick that with that arrow onto that side there. That's just so that when you have your tag pulling out, you don't have white behind it. So that's my answer to that. I don't want to make too much glue around the edges because it might stick the whole thing together, but you do want to get it stuck down well. Right, so that arrow goes to the top. You can see I've learned a few tricks since I did it the first time. All right, so that there now should match up with that pretty much. All right, a little bit that way, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now what I want to do is I've cut a little piece of packaging. This is packaging film from one of my bits. I keep all this stuff, and I'm going to stick it on the inside here. So I've made this just 1/4 of an inch longer, so it's 3 1/4 by 3 inches. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, oh, not that, this, I want to put glue right on the edge, just a hair's breadth away from the edge here. And the way I want to make sure is I'm putting a little bit right on the edge of all of this. And the reason is I don't want my tag to get caught on one of these edges when I slide it in. So this is how I tackle it. All right, so there you've got your little window done. A little bit of glue there, but I'm just running my fingers over it, and there we go. All right, so that's that there. Now you just want to take your Distress ink and just go over the edges. It just gets rid of the white that you might have anywhere from folding the paper, etc. Yeah. Okay. Right, so that's the front. All right, this is where our pocket's going to go. So let's grab that quickly. I've used this paper here, which was a scrap when we were making our pockets in our file folder, our journal cover. All right, so this one is 3 and just under 3.5 inches. I think 2, yes, 2 inches. All right, so that in centimeters is 8.5 by 5. Right, so I've inked it already. I've just taken a little notch there. It was a rectangle which I just cut, and then I used my 5/8 of an inch punch just to make a little notch over there. So I've got my glue on, and I want to just get that in place here like that. There we go, really easy. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I've got my peach lace, paper lace, which makes it really nice and flat. Horrible to cut out. But I did do it over a few evenings while I was relaxing, and I did manage, and I've had to cut out 2 kits, so yeah. I'm going to put this just about there, and I think I've got a bit to trim off, so I've got this little flower that I cut out. I have gone around all the fussy cuts with this lovely vintage antique linen, which just softens the edges, which I like, and I'm going to stick that on there, and that's perfect. Yeah, loving all these bits and pieces in here. I hope you're enjoying putting this together. It's so magical, mystical, and fantastical. Yeah, I've had fun today. So yeah, I'm working on a new kit. I'm almost finished it. And if you think the fairies was nice, well, I think this one's going to be my favorite kit ever. So once I've got it ready, I will share it with you. But it's getting there. Right, so we've got that there. A little pocket. We've got a pocket that's going to be at the back. We're going to decorate the front, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go and stitch around here. Guys, you don't have to stitch around here, all right? It's purely a decorative choice I make. You can easily just go and glue down there and down there and down there. I'm going to glue this side. That's the side opposite the window. So that's, I'm not sewing there, I'm just sewing on this bit, and then just match up your corner. All right, and then just make sure everything is lying nice and flat. So let me do that quickly, and I will be right back here with you. Okay, so I have stitched around there, just there. And I'm going to just run my bone folder over the inside, which flattens all that lot, and then it looks good inside and outside. And then you want to just fold that over again, give it a good burnish. All right, and there we go. That's our little base model, and you could make those with all the leftover paper that you have. All right. So now what we want to do is we are going to start with our decorating. So I've got this little bit of cream lace, and I think I've measured it correctly, she says. Okay, so we've got that there, and I'm going to go quite low because I'm going to put something there in a butterfly, so slightly lower than halfway. All right, and then we can just cut that off. There we go, all good. Right, Then I've got Surround Yourself with Beauty, and I have gone round with that, and we're going to get that. Again, I'm going to go a little bit further down on the lace, more than halfway, so I can get my butterfly on there. And I've got one of these little cream ones, and beautiful butterflies in this kit. I have always loved butterflies. They're a sign of a symbol, that's the word, a symbol of transformation, and I think we all go through that, don't we? There we go. Right, and then I've got 2 die cuts here. I use 2 for each of them, a green and a different color, so I'm going to use pink and green. This is a hollyhock. I've had this one for ages. I got it off Amazon, if you're wondering. If you're ever wondering what I use and the details of it, all of it's on my Amazon favorite tools. You can find all the information there. Right, so what did I do with this one? Yeah, so this one we've got over there. I'm not going to press it down quite yet. I want to get this green sort of underneath it on one section, and then probably easier to put this on afterwards, so we'll get that like that. Okay, so we've got those 2 there. All right, and then we want our little fairies, and again just go around with your ink if you like to do that. I haven't put extra on, I'm just using what's on here, and then we'll get that just onto the side there like that. How sweet is that? I think it looks so pretty. Right, so we're coming to the end now. For the card that goes in over here, all right, this is the card, and I've just backed it onto my avocado lace paper. I use one or the other, and what I did was I took one of the butterflies, so here's a pink one. I did the same for the green, but I used a cream butterfly for the green, and then I just find the middle using my grid map here and get that. I always want to say antlers, the feelers. They're like that. All right, once I've got the spot I want, I take my pencil and I just draw the bottom in here. So when I've got the glue on, I know where it's got to go. Now, when you've got it like that, I know that it's up to about that point where the glue needs to go. All right, so that's all. We just make a line across there. Okay. And now we go back to our pencil marks. And then you don't stress about getting it right. Okay. Now there's no glue coming out there, and I'm quite happy with that. So that's going to slide in to this pocket here. Oh, listen to my tummy. Sorry. It's hungry. All right, so there we go. That goes in there like that, and it gives a lovely little background to this image, and this one had a lovely background with that there. Okay, so that's what we've got there, and then we want to open that up. I have used Grow Through What You Go Through. Gosh, isn't that the truth? And then the fairy card, so that's going to go in there, and then that's going to go there. Probably put that one at the back. All right, so we've got those 2 in there, and then we've got this beautiful fairy card. Isn't that pretty? And we'll put that into the back here. All right, so you can close that now, and then you've got all your layers. How pretty is that? All right, so I've got two sets here because, as I say, I've got two journals, and look at all that gorgeous stuff there. Right guys, all you need to do now is go and stick this into your glue on the back here and get it onto those pages, and that will be that. Right everyone, take good care of yourselves. I will see you again for another little video on Tuesday, and I'm really excited about this. And as I say, it won't be long and I have my next kit ready for you, so that's going to be amazing. Take good care. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hype the video if you're able to. I believe not all countries have that option, but if you are able to, I'd really appreciate it. And leave a comment and let me know what you think. I'll speak to you soon.